Welcome to the Stix episode 22. Now, you might notice this is not Aiden. This is Josh Palmer, Aiden's brother. And Aiden, unfortunately, is not here right now
due to
because there is a hurricane, or not hurricane, it is a
due
hurricane
to due
that
to inclement weather, he will not be
yeah,
present for this
due to inclement weather, he will not be
podcast.
present, unfortunately. We stand in solidarity. Today, I will be representing App State University, in Aiden's honor. He's not dead, just walking through some water. Okay. Our favorite teams games recap, starting off with a horrible one. JMU versus UNC.
Let's
Uh,
go.
we lose. No, not let's go.
It
UNC
is,
loses
bro.
seven. UNC
Go Pack
loses
baby.
70-50. Alonzo Arnett kills Carolina. They score on like every possession. I mean,
They have
Jacoby
50 at
Criswell.
halftime.
Yeah, Jacoby Criswell for Carolina scores or throws for 475 yards, which is good for fourth all time in Carolina history. And if I told you that Carolina scored 50 points, you'd be like, "Geez, they blew JMU out of the water." Nope, we got blown out. We got blown out of the water. Just a really unfortunate game. And Carolina. Well, I mean, we'll talk about their next matchup here in a couple minutes or so. But yeah, not one. You have a bad game when your coach threatens to retire after a loss. That's how you know you got beat bad.
Oh, I had no idea that happened.
Moving on to NC State versus
Oh
Clemson.
God. See, I
Yeah,
watched
and
this game.
yeah. So I watched a good amount of it as well, and this score is a lot closer than what the game was actually. I think we can both agree to that.
I think it
This
was
score looks
what?
it was like 59-7 or 14 or something. Like it was like 30 something at halftime. It was like 30 something to
I think
zero at half.
nah, I think that was end of the first quarter.
Oh,
Might have been
jeez.
28. Yeah, but it was still
Yeah,
pretty bad.
it was pretty bad. The, I mean, Clemson looks really, really good, and State has just yet to get going. I mean, through these first four games, they have looked like really bad. They have
Sloppy
not looked
football,
very good.
turnovers, all
Yes,
that.
all of it. And Clemson, on the other hand, they look really good. They are avenging that loss that they had at the beginning of the year to Georgia, and they're on a warpath. Like they're just going after everybody. They're killing teams. Unfortunately, two of those teams happen to have been Aiden's teams, but actually the only two wins they have are against Aiden's teams. But it is what it is. They do what they got to do. They handle business and they win this game by a lot. Moving on to another unfortunate game for my boy Aiden. If Aiden was here right now, he would be telling you about how dookie App State is. God, uh, Aiden would also tell you that he left at like halftime. I'm pretty sure. Like this game was not close at all.
I was
Never
watching this game,
was.
and
Yeah.
I think I stopped watching it in the first quarter just
Yeah,
because
it was never
I love
close.
watching App State football, and like it just wasn't like their offense was just so stagnant. Like South Alabama's
Mm.
defense was putting in that work,
They,
stopping the run, which is App State's strong suit. So
yeah, they did not play obviously well at all. The final score is obviously 40-14. So I mean that shows you all you need to know. But Gio Lopez had a good little game. Messed up the dude shown here wearing my favorite helmet in all of football. Not. Um, but yeah, South Alabama comes into Boone, and Aiden was talking about how this needed to be a blowout win for App, and it was a blowout win, but not for App.
it's not in his favor.
Yeah. Moving on to another blowout.
Oh
Uh,
God.
Josh and I's Niners lose 52-14. Now, honestly, I don't know if you watched the game, but if you watched like the first like I don't know quarter and a half, Charlotte was playing pretty good football.
We were down like 7 at halftime, I think 7 or
Yeah, like
10.
Charlotte was playing good football for like half of this game. And the offense looked good. The defense looked they were trying their best. They were getting some stops. They were stringing together some field goals and goal line stuffs to cause field goals. But that second half, man, they just
Fell apart.
fell apart. Uh, now I'm not gonna lie. If you were in attendance, they would have won this game because you
That's
know
what
they have
I'm
super
saying.
they have superpowers when Josh Palmer is in attendance.
Yeah.
But yeah, Indiana is a good team. In my opinion, they deserve to get ranked. This is like a lot of this team is at least this dude right here, Elijah Surratt, is from JMU from last year, that almost undefeated team, because their head coach Kurt Signetti comes from JMU to Indiana and gets transfers from JMU. So they have a good squad. They have a good coach. And this team should be top 25 and definitely can give some Big Ten teams a run for their money. Moving on to the week 4 games of the week recap. Excuse me. Oh, I forgot to put the score, but Tennessee beats Oklahoma. I don't. Let's see if I can go find the score. I forgot to put it on the slides, but Tennessee goes into Norman and beats Oklahoma 25-15. And I mean, I don't know how much. I don't know if it's Tennessee's defense or Oklahoma's lack of offense, but Oklahoma could not get anything going. They could not get offense strung together at all. In fact, they benched their starting quarterback Jackson Arnold halfway through the game, and they just looked trash. Really, they looked bad. And this there was really a big wake up call for Oklahoma. I have to be honest, I still don't believe that this Tennessee team is worth top 5 ranking. It's just not my opinion. I don't think they are. Yes, they get this win against Oklahoma, but Oklahoma, as I said earlier, they don't have an offense. So I think Tennessee is I mean, they're a bowl game team, obviously. They're a top 25 team, but I just don't see them as a top 5 team.
See, that's where you and me differ on
Uh-huh.
that. I surely believe Tennessee's a top 5 football team because they beat who have they beaten? I mean, they beat State. That was
State
flashbacks of
handily.
that game. Uh, um, who else did they play? I mean, they played Kent
Well,
State and Chattanooga.
and
Pretty
then they had the
convincing. Every game up until this one, they beat their opponent pretty convincingly.
yeah. I mean the defense is good. The running is good. I just Nico is he's a young quarterback, and I just think he's inexperienced, and he's playing in a really tough Tennessee or really tough SEC conference, and so these games are not going to get any easier. Like they're gonna end up playing some tough teams this year.
Yeah. So like their next 4 games, they play Arkansas next week, and they play Florida. Then
To Bama,
they
or
go
they play
they
at yeah
they
they
play
host
at
Bama,
they host Bama. That's gonna be a crazy game. So yeah, they got a
and
pretty
then
tough schedule ahead of them. So we'll see where that goes.
and then 2 weeks after that they played Georgia. So like this, I'm not saying they're a bad team by any means. I just feel
Yeah.
like as far as right now they're not worth the top 5 ranking. But that's just
Mhm.
we can agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Moving on to my offensive player of the week. I hate this. But I had to do it. Alonzo Barrett.
Dang.
22 for 34, 388 yards, 5 touchdowns with his arm, and 99 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns on the ground. And he just, like I said, as I said earlier, he single-handedly killed Carolina. It was bad. It was really bad. For this week, we're not gonna have defensive and special teams just because we have the loss of Aiden. But Moving on to our favorite teams' games for the week. We have UNC and Duke. Wait, hold on. That looks kind of funky. Oh, that's better. That's better.
Ah,
That's so much better.
Duke sucks.
UNC versus Duke. UNC goes on the road to play Duke. I believe they're 2-point underdogs. Carolina is. So Duke is favorite 2.5. Two and a half points.
Duke's undefeated, right?
They're favored. Yeah, they are. They are. The 4-0. But this Duke team is not that crazy. Like Carol, I feel like it's disrespectful to have Carolina. Like they like here's the teams that they've played. Elon, Northwestern, UConn, and Middle Tennessee State.
Probably the only like competent team they played is Northwestern.
Northwestern plays. I mean, Northwestern's but they went to double OT with Northwestern. I feel like Carolina should win this game. They should.
Just based on like the teams they played, Carolina should win this game.
Yeah, if the defense cannot be trash like they were last week, then Carolina can definitely cover this game and just win outright. They. If I was a betting man, I would take the alternate spread on this one, but we all know what happened last time. I said I would take the spread in Carolina. So yeah. Anything else to add on, Josh?
No, I think you covered it on that game.
All right, NIU versus NC State. I'll let you take the wheel on this one.
All right. Preseason, if I looked at this game, I would have said NC State's going to blow NIU out the water. But NIU is looking like a pretty decent football team playing against a seemingly struggling Wolfpack. So I don't know when Grace McCall is coming back. So CJ Bailey is going to have to step up, start playing some football, and hopefully take down this NIU team that's been playing pretty well recently.
Well, they do suffer a loss to Buffalo last week in a heartbreaker. State is actually a 7.5 point favor, which I think that's a decent line. I do think it's a good line. I I don't know about you. I trust State. I trust State. I think that they're going to get their crap together. I think that they can come in and beat NIU by at least 2 scores.
I mean, I hope that's the case because State needs a win
They,
here.
they then they need a really big win to propel themselves and really get their confidence up.
Mhm.
Moving on to Charlotte versus Rice. Our Niners travel to Texas to take on the Rice Owls, who they've not been playing the best football. They're also 1-3, just like our Niners. With losses against Army, Houston, and Texas, excuse me, Sam Houston. And they got beat 37-14 by Army.
Hmm.
37 points from Army.
I mean, Army's looking like a pretty good football team this year.
They are, but like that's a lot. That's a lot of points to give up to a slow paced team that doesn't beat you. They don't try to beat you by a lot. They try to beat you. They try to slow you down and tire you.
Army's QB for 3 straight weeks has had 3 rushing touchdowns every game.
That's not
Yeah,
even
their
said I
their
knew.
their option offense is going insane right now.
But Charlotte has, well, yes, we're 1-3, but I think me and you can both agree that they're taking steps in the right direction. The
Yes.
the offense looks to be the offense looks to be better. It's
Yeah.
under Trexler Ivy. It's getting better. Um, they're
Max
running.
Brown is also on his way back
Is he
soon. Soon.
inside information? Um, I I really do want Charlotte to explore the run game a little more because I feel like guys like Hassan Wilson they are good running backs. Which they showed that like Hassan Wilson broke out a 40-yarder in that Gardner Webb game.
Yeah.
I think Hassan Wilson is a good back, and I really want to see them hand the ball off more and more like I don't know, outside zone type plays because we do run a
'Cause
lot inside.
we run up the gut a whole lot.
We do. We run up the middle a lot. I want to see some
Yeah,
outside zone plays. I want to see Colin Weber, making some blocks. The O line getting in motion. Hopefully, setting some pull blocks. Like I want to see. I want to see this offense open up a bit. And
based on what I saw a couple weeks ago at the Gardner Webb game, our O line was definitely our low point in that game, especially in the
yeah,
first half because um, Purdy had no time to get in the pocket. I think he had like 2 or 3 fumbles and 2 picks.
and like
So
negative 77
yeah,
rushing yards. The O line definitely needs to get better. And but yeah, I think we should open up the playbook a little bit. And the defense looks, although the defense
mhm,
has looks pretty good. I think
yeah,
the defense is
yeah.
the
Our
strong
our
side
D
right
line is
now.
definitely our D line.
Our D line's really
Yeah,
good.
our D line is definitely the strong suit. But they just got to be able to like they can like get through the O line, but they just can't get to the quarterback, especially mobile quarterbacks. They can't. They
Yeah,
struggle with containing him. So they just got to work
we
on
do
that.
have big guys on our D line.
Yes.
We have really big dudes on our D line. Moving on. Oh, far. Sorry. I just right now. Rice is favored 6.5 or 6 points. They're 6 point favorites. I,
Understandable.
it is understandable, and ESPN gives them a 74% chance to win. But neither of these teams has looked good, and I want to be optimistic. I want to say Charlotte, not necessarily covers, but I want to take Charlotte to win this game. I believe in. We definitely need this win. I mean, both teams need this win, but I
Especially
think our Niners pull it out.
especially it being a conference game and all. We need this
A
bad.
conference game, and we need this game coming into probably our biggest game of the year next week.
ECU.
That being ECU. So we need this.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think I think Charlotte gets this win. I do think
I
they
think
can.
I think they pull it out by I think they win. I'm gonna say 28 to 24. Charlotte.
I like that. I like that. Moving on to a game that we have breaking news. Actually, this game is
As of
canceled.
like as of like an hour ago, it got canceled.
Yeah, this game got canceled, and it was shaping up to be one of the better Group of Five matchups all year. App coming off a horrible loss to South Alabama, and Liberty coming off a like 1:30 a.m. showdown with the Pirates, the East Carolina Pirates. Both these teams coming off a game that they were looking to get a huge win and increase their odds at maybe making a college football playoff. I don't know. That might be out of the blue for half, but um, I don't know if they're gonna end up playing this game or just postponing it, like or scrapping it altogether. I don't know how this is gonna work, but yeah, um, it is what it is. Moving on to our week 4 game of the week, which is obviously college game day, Georgia versus Alabama. And this is one of the this is a huge game. I think a lot of fans, at least me, I'm really excited to watch this game.
Mhm.
Um, if we have a game that is, I don't know what weather conditions in Tuscaloosa are, but Alabama and Georgia going into a huge matchup. These games always deliver. Let's be honest, these games always deliver. And Georgia actually is a 1 point favorite. So basically, this is an even of a matchup as you can get.
Yeah.
Both of these teams, I mean, Alabama's looked good this year, but Georgia really struggled versus Kentucky, they're
Yeah.
coming off a bye, and so
So they
Georgia
have like no
has
momentum going in this game.
yeah, they don't have a lot of momentum going into this game. Hopefully, they had a good week of practice because they're needed against the Crimson Tide. They look really good. Jalen Milrow just last week was like third or fourth in my Heisman rankings. So he's obviously doing what he needs to do. And I don't know. I just if it really depends on how the Georgia team we get, because if we get the Georgia team against like they played against Kentucky, I feel like Alabama wins this game because
Mm.
they have the home field advantage, and because they are fresher than Georgia is. Um, but yeah, it's a really hard game to choose. What do you think?
I personally feel like Alabama's going to upset Georgia because, like you said, Jalen Milroe and the rest of the Crimson Tide have been looking really good recently. And then obviously Georgia struggled a little bit against Kentucky, only winning by what?
I think it was like
6 points?
two, or I think it was like I think 15-13. I think the final score was.
Yeah,
It was a
something
really
like
low
that.
scoring game.
Um, Against a like pretty mediocre SEC school. So I feel like
Who had gotten
eh,
blown out? Oh, yeah,
I feel like Bama pulls this one out, upsets number 2 Georgia.
yeah. And we're moving straight into the NFL with our Pats, Panthers, and I forgot to change it, but since Josh is here, a Bills recap for the week, starting off with
Yes.
the Panthers beating the Raiders 36-22, and man, it feels good to get a win, baby. What does not feel good is that Bryce Young was not our quarterback, and I feel like it stunts his growth a little bit. I think what Dave Chaos is doing is hitting the reset button. I feel like we're treating him like he's a rookie quarterback, like he's just gotten drafted last year in the 2024 NFL draft, so that we can get him to calm down and gain his composure, gain confidence, so that when it's his time, he can ball out. I'm not giving up on him. A lot of the world is. I'm not. I still have hope in him. But man, with Andy Dalton in his offense, at least last week against a pretty decent Raiders defense, might I add, we cooked. We did amazing. The defense looked decent. The Raiders, the 22 is a bit. They scored a last second touchdown, so it was more like 36, like 14, 36-20. So that it is what it is. But yeah, the Panthers get a huge win. Andy Dalton looks really good, and we I don't know. I feel like this team is rejuvenated. It's kind of I really don't have a choice, but I
You know
believe
what else? I feel
what
like the Panthers, not even just their pass game that they don't, their run game has really showed out. Chuba
Chuba
Hubbard
Hubbard
went
looked really
for
good.
21 rushes for 114 yards, no touchdowns, and he also
Well,
had
he
five
he did
catches.
have a touchdown.
He had 5 catches for 55 yards and a receiving touchdown.
Yeah, receiving it.
Good
So
for
he showed.
28 fantasy points.
Yeah,
Pretty pretty
I
good.
trust me. Trust me. I'm very aware of it. I'm very aware. I had to face it. Um, really sucks to have your own dude do it to you. But yeah, the Panthers get a huge win, and we're looking good. I'm excited. Moving on to Patriots and Jets on Thursday Night Football. Aiden went over 2 that night with Av losing, of course, and the Patriots losing there short after. The offense
Yeah.
sucked. And it was because the Jets knew what they needed to do. The defensive coordinator was smart. He blitzed Jacoby Brissett. The Patriots offensive line sucks. And so he just blitzed Jacoby Brissett and made him make a quick throw because they don't have good receivers. They don't. The
Who's
offense
the
is
number one's what? Pop Douglas?
the number one receiver is Hunter Henry. Like basically.
Yeah.
Basically. Um And so they blitzed the Patriots the whole game, got them uncomfortable, and the offense did what the offense does. And 24 points, I mean, the Patriots defense still played good. They did.
Yeah.
Garrett Wilson did a receiving touchdown on Christian Gonzalez, although like it's just if you saw the play, Aaron Rodgers threw an absolute beautiful pass. There's not much you can do about that as an NFL
Mhm.
cornerback. And
Going back
the go ahead.
going back to what you said about the Jets doing what they need to do and blitzing Jacoby Brissett. and the blitz, and they're them stopping their already the Patriots already mediocre pass game, forced them to
Mhm.
run the ball, which has been their strong suit all year. Ramondre Stevenson dropping 21.6 fantasy points week one, 17 points week two, which is
Mhm.
against two pretty good teams
Yeah,
or
against the Bengals
seemingly good
Seahawks.
teams. And
Yeah,
people thought Ramondre was going to do even better, like keep the ball
even
rolling.
better. Mhm.
He get 6 rushes for 23 yards, no
Yeah,
touchdowns, and zero
did
receiving yards. He dropped point three
point
fantasy points.
three.
Sorry
I
to our
mean,
boy Chase, who had him as his RB1 last week. But
yeah,
yeah.
it's just that he did not do good. The whole Patriots offense did not look good. You can't that can't happen in an NFL game. Trust me, Aiden. I sympathize with you. I that happened to us. But yeah, the Patriots dropped 1-2. Jets, I believe, are 2-1 now. They're building on back-to-back wins. Coming into London this weekend against the Vikings. And here are the Bills. It was an absolute slaughter of Monday Night Football. Go ahead and tell us about it, Josh.
All right. So Bills came out strong, getting I think it was James Cook receiving touchdown, first drive,
Mhm.
something
Yeah.
like that. Uh James Cook, oh, he only had 39 yards, 39 rushing yards and a touchdown, but in the receiving game, that's where he shined. Or sort of. He had 5 catches for 48 yards, no touchdowns. He dropped 18.7 fantasy points last week. Good for the number 6 running back in fantasy for full PPR, which James Cook has been one of the better running backs in the league this year because
Yes,
he pretty much does it all, receiving, running. He can
he does.
he gets dirty in the blocking game too. And
Mm-hmm.
then of course the man himself, Josh Allen, goes absolutely insane, throwing
Didn't
for
play.
263 yards and 4 touchdowns through 3 quarters because he basically didn't play the
Yeah.
second. He played, yeah, he didn't really play the fourth quarter. Um, he had 6 rushes for 44 yards on the ground, good for 30.92 fantasy points. He's good for
Absolute
the
stud.
number 1 quarterback in PPR fantasy.
And
So it's good that I have both of them on my team. So
yeah. And the favorite. Definitely the favorite for
hmm
MVP.
yes, for sure. And it
Moving
wasn't just the offense that looked good. Sorry.
yeah, you're
The
good.
defense balled out too with Christian Benford locking up Brian Thomas Jr. It wasn't even just him. It was D line had a couple sacks. Damar
Mhm.
Hamlin had his first pick ever. Shout out to Damar Hamlin. And yeah, they just made the Jaguars look absolutely atrocious last week.
They did. It was bad.
I
The
mean,
Jaguars, I think, are 0-3 now, right?
they are 0-3 now. Yeah. So
2-0-3 teams in the AFC South.
let's go Buffalo, baby.
Buffalo. Moving on to the games for the week. First of all, Bengals Panthers. And I still might still go to this game. Right now it's currently Friday. The game is obviously on Sunday at 1. I might go to this game. Julius Peppers is actually getting um uh honored. He's getting honored for making the Hall of Fame, obviously. Um this I think I at some point, probably during halftime of this game. And but let's talk about the actual game. The Bengals obviously 0-3 coming into this game. Losses against the Patriots, Chiefs, and then last week the Commanders. So two mad teams and a good quality Chiefs team. Uh, and the Panthers obviously coming off winning as the Raiders, and then the 2 weeks prior. We don't talk about those, but I don't know. I really do think the Panthers like have a potential in this game. Obviously, the Andy Dalton revenge game, but the Bengals just like they're hungry. They're thirsty for a win. And I think they do. I think they get that in Charlotte this weekend.
Yeah, they've just gotten so unlucky with especially against the Chiefs, calls going their way. They
Yeah.
had I'm pretty sure they had a pick, that would have been a game sealing pick called back due to penalty
Hmm.
on Patrick Mahomes. So they've just been super unlucky, and yeah, I feel like they're definitely hungry for a win, and I feel like they pull this one out against the Panthers.
Well, moving on to the Bills versus Ravens. This is our
All
Sunday night
right,
football game.
prime time, Josh Allen. We've had all pretty much almost all of our games have been prime time except week
We got
one.
three out of the four.
So coming off a strong win against Jacksonville, I feel like the Bills. I mean, they haven't beaten like a pretty good team yet. So, I mean, the Ravens record doesn't really show. I mean, they're 2-1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ravens are 1-2.
Oh yeah, they did start 0-2.
Yeah. With the win against the Cowboys last week.
hmm The Ravens just came off a huge win, so I feel like this is gonna be a pretty good game. But the Bills offense, I feel like is gonna be too much for Baltimore, and the Bills do have some injuries in the secondary and linebackers, but we have the same team we had last week, so I feel like Bills pull this one out.
Yeah. I agree. I think the Bills are looking really hot. And I just want to put it out there. I think it's very surprising to me that Josh Allen is able to be an MVP candidate without a true wide receiver one. He has,
hmm
I mean, Khalil Shakir is, I guess, his wide receiver one, but he has a bunch of like, I think both of these teams I mean, no, well, they have Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews, who the Ravens don't even use Mark Andrews. That's a different story for a
Doesn't
different
even he
day.
doesn't even play anymore, it seems like.
No, I know, but the Bills are they can do with what they have. Offensive coordinator, I think Joe Brady. Correct me if I'm
Yes,
wrong.
that is
Former
correct.
Panthers offensive coordinator, believe it or not. Also happens to be also was the offensive coordinator for the LSU Tigers when they won the Natty in 2019. But he's been putting together some really good games on offense. Josh Allen is obviously a super uber talented quarterback who, knock on wood, but he's not turned the ball over a lot this year. Actually, has he turned the ball over once all year?
He lost a fumble week one against the Cardinals, but that was about
Okay.
it. No picks, no turnover since then.
Yeah. But so he's playing really good, obviously. We've talked about
hmm
that. And I think that this is definitely a win that the Bills are gonna get traveling to Baltimore. But it's gonna be a tough one. It really will be.
Yeah, and I feel like going back to what you said about Josh Allen having success without a true wide receiver one, I feel like this plays in his favor because it allows him
Mhm.
to spread out the defense because they pretty much got to guard everybody now instead of
Yeah.
just guarding Stephon Diggs. And
100%.
it allows Josh Allen to be more creative, I guess you could say. Roll out, scramble,
Run if he needs to. Yeah. Run through a
and he
dot,
can
run through a
and
guy
he's
if he
he's
needs to.
learned to check it down because that's what he
Yeah,
struggled with the past couple of years. He's
you love
learned to
to
check
see
it
it.
down to James Cook, Khalil Shakir, amazing after the catch and after contact. So I'm
Yeah.
happy to see him utilizing those short routes more.
Definitely still we didn't do our rankings, but definitely still our number one team, or at least my number one team, in my opinion, in the NFL. They definitely look like they could beat anybody. Moving on to our final game to cover for the week, which is Patriots versus Niners. And if the Jets destroy the Patriots the way that they did and embarrass them the way they did, the Jets destroyed the Jet. I mean, the Niners destroyed the Jets, and then the Niners defense is so good. Like the Patriots are going to struggle. They're going to. They're 10-point underdogs in this game. They're going to struggle. I think that short and sweet. Both these teams are 1-2. Might I add? Both teams are 1-2. But the Niners, I don't know if they're getting Kittle back, but regardless, I think they win this game pretty handedly.
Um,
I hope my boy Jordan Mason does this thing. Also, you see that Chris McCaffrey, they announced that he's going to be out for possibly a couple months. I just not just like
he's
he's extending on IR. So I hate it. I hate it. My boy, he's my guy, former Panthers player. But I do have Jordan Mason in fantasy, so positives, I guess.
All those CMC fantasy owners are going insane right now, wasting the
They
first
really
overall
are.
pick on
They really
a
are.
seemingly non-existent player.
They are. They really
And I'm looking at it right now. George Kittle, he's still questionable with his hamstring injury,
are.
but it's looking pretty good right now just for him to play this week
Okay.
against the Patriots. I really hope he does. He's my tight end one. I don't want to start Mike Gesicki again.
Mhm. But you do
And
think the Niners pull this one out?
yeah, but they have been struggling. I wouldn't say struggling. They have a good amount of injuries on offense with Debo out,
Definitely.
CMC obviously, and then the struggles with Brandon Ayuk.
He,
All
yeah,
that drama over the
I would
offseason.
say, and he
For
does
what?
nothing. He's like 40 yards this whole entire year so far.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a good receiver. Like we obviously he's not just like making a fit for no reason.
Yeah. But I feel like the Patriots defense is going to be the strong suit purely because the Niners haven't looked super unstoppable on offense these past couple
Mhm.
games.
Yeah.
So I feel like if it is even close, the Patriots defense will be the reason because their offense just hasn't looked great at all with these past couple weeks.
I agree. All right, that'll wrap it up for episode 22 of the Sticks. Thank you,
Oh,
Josh, for coming out and helping me record this. I appreciate
the
you,
last
and
minute substitution.
last minute substitution. Hopefully, we get to see you coming on these more often. We will see y'all later for episode 23 next Friday. Peace.